7:33 in the morning. Glad to have you along with us. It's a wake-up call Wednesday. We're going to have a Wednesday helpline coming up here in just a bit. But before that, we've got Bryant Insurance in the house. Let's know what's happening insurance-wise in the world.
Good morning. We're going to talk about an important insurance coverage and sometimes misunderstood insurance coverage, and it's workers' compensation. And one thing that is unique about Texas, for many, many, many years, Texas was the only state that it is not required that employers carry workers' comp. There is now a second state, but that's pretty recent.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, what did I tell you it was? South Dakota?
It's South Dakota.
Yeah, but in Texas it is optional. If you are an employer and you have a certain number of employees and you choose not to, you have to file as an unsubscriber and you have to notify. But another thing about Texas is that our workers' comp law makes it where the rates are really among the best.
They're really low.
Yeah, they're really, really good rates.
To kind of give you an understanding of that, there is a two policies, one here in Texas and one in Oklahoma are good common examples. The one here in Texas I write a lot is $457. That same policy in Oklahoma is like $2,000.
Right.
So that will give you an understanding of how uniquely cheap our workers' comp is compared to other states.
So, depending on what your employees are classified with what they're doing, of course, more hazardous type jobs, the rates are going to be higher, but it is a very affordable coverage and it protects you as an employer. Because if your employee gets hurt, the policy actually follows what the state law says is payable for a workers' comp claim, but it also it's designed to take care of your employee and make sure that they're healthy and get them back to work. That's what it's designed as, and it's just a really good coverage to have.
Now, something else that's really unique among Texas, and really Texas only, is that if you are a non-subscriber, so if you decide not to carry workers' comp, which is completely fine here in Texas, we're cool, we're like, hey, stay independent.
Yeah.
Woo. But if you do that, there are some downsides to that. There are 3 common defenses that you are no longer allowed to use if your employee gets injured and sues you. So this is uniquely Texas, and so there's 3 different ones. I actually had to Google these.
Yeah,
I
always forget what they are too.
Yeah. We sell the insurance.
Yeah.
One of them is contributing neglect. So basically this states that if your employee is the one that is solely neglectful, even if you are an employer with 1% neglect, you cannot use that argument to defend yourself like, hey, it was his fault, he was the one that did it, not our problem. If you are a non-subscriber, you cannot use that defense in court. It will come back, you are neglect. You are the one that's liable.
And then the second one is assumption of risk, saying that the employee knew it was a risky job. Yeah, you can't say that.
You can't say that. You can't say, go out there and use this bender with your bare fingers. Yay. Oops.
And the third one is the fellow servant.
Yeah, that's
the other employee causes the injury. But the thing about it is if you carry workers' comp, which is what we highly advise you to do, your employee gets hurt on the job, workers' comp pays their medical bills. It pays a portion of their lost wages. Again, it's designed to get them back to work. It's not, they're not going to receive the same amount of money they were receiving when they were working, and it's a percentage. And again, that's all set by the state. But most employers, I would say all of our clients, they don't want their employees to get hurt. They want to have a safe working environment, and when they do get hurt, they want them to be taken care of.
That's right.
And then also, if you or depending on what type of business you are, say you're a plumber or you're an electrician and a general contractor hires you to work on a job, they're going to require proof of workers' comp before they let you on that job most of the time.
Because when someone gets injured, they just keep suing up until they find someone with workers' comp. And that's why they want the bill to stop with you.
And because our law in Texas is so strong and it keeps our rates down, it's very difficult. Yes, an employee can sue an employer over an injury, but it's very rare because of the law being so strong. Most lawyers wouldn't even take it. So there's a second side of workers' comp, which is employer's liability. That's if you do get sued as an employer. And what you usually see there is if it's gross negligence. Say that I went to work today and Brad said, instead of doing insurance, you're going to make bombs. Well, that would be gross negligence on my employer's part.
Why are you
because
telling the secrets?
because I don't know how to do that, and I'm going to get blown up, and so then Rick could probably sue Brian Insurance and get some money because that would be gross negligence. So I mean that was an exaggeration, but it's just a coverage to think about if you have one employee, if you have 100 employees. It's a coverage to think about. Get a quote, talk to your agent about it. It's probably not going to be as expensive as you think, and it gives you a lot of peace of mind.
Right. I was thinking blue roofing is more.
Yeah, that would be more accurate probably, and that would be more dangerous than making bombs.
I saw a deal the other day. I was, it was on a news program where a gentleman was working for a car wash. All right, and what he had to do is he had to pick up something that was in the back of a car. They were cleaning it out and hurt his back. Well, he goes to his employer and says, "Hey, I hurt my back," and all this kind of stuff. Well, the employer had cameras and it was watching everything, and he disputed the fact on this thing, and then they found out that the employee was lying. How much how much do you find out, like on the workers' comp thing, where sometimes the employer's like, you know what, I don't want to file on my workers' comp until we find out?
Well, what you do is you file and you tell your carrier that you believe there's fraud. And Texas Mutual is the largest workers' comp carrier in Texas. There's others. Texas, and I forget the numbers, I wish I would have brought them with me, they have a fraud unit, and they catch millions of dollars of fraud, and now they're not going to not pay if there's a chance that they're being honest, but they catch them.
One of those that I was reading, it was an article the other day, it was very interesting. It's Fitbit and Apple Watch data, so all those watches and stuff. So what they're doing is that's discoverable evidence, and if they believe that workers' comp, these people are healthy enough to go back to work and they're saying, no, I'm really injured, I can't do this, they'll pull that data and go, well, it's really hard for you to be injured when you're doing a 2-mile jog every morning, plus, walking 25,000 steps. It's like, are you really injured from sitting at your desk, not being able to type? It's like,
But your workers' comp carrier, they have the people on their staff to determine if it's fraud or not. They will send out investigators.
That was me.
Yeah,
I actually
you did do that. Yeah,
I did do that. I had a few of those.
They will, and so
fun.
do they always catch them? No, but do they catch them a lot of times? Yes. And so let your workers' comp carrier do that work for you. Tell them everything you know. They're on your side.
Well,
as the employer.
that's what I was getting at. I was like, instead of the employer having to deal with a situation like this, the insurance company can come in if an employer feels like there's something fishy here, that he can say, hey, you might as well check this out.
And these workers' comp adjusters, now sometimes they get on my nerves, but most of the time they're really, really, really good at what they do. And they are good at working with the injured employee, especially the ones, most of it is legitimate. These people really were hurt. And they work with them, they help them go through the system and figure out the best thing to do. And in really bad situations, they can't go back to work because they're disabled. I mean, they have all these ways that they determine that. But fraud is a big thing, and they do catch people that are trying to beat the system.
Here's my other question.
Okay.
Let's say, I'm just going to use a radio station as an example. You got a radio station, and then you've got, let's say, a guy's got a dynamite factory over here. Are the rates higher for more,
Yeah, there's classification codes.
Okay.
So, like, the clerical code is like 40 cents per $100 of payroll, where a truck driver is going to be $20 per $100. So it's based on, and those rates are determined by the historical injuries of people in those classifications.
And not only that, there's a lot of them that have frequency versus severity claims. So let's say like a person that's clerical will have more frequency claims, they'll have their little paper cuts and twist ankles, whatever. But then you have other people like, that are machinists, and when they get injured, it's more like, oh, I lost an entire hand.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
that's just more severity claim. Will they have their frequency claims? Well, of course, machinists get their fingers pinched and cuts and all that, but do they turn in those claims? No. Will they turn in the finger missing? Yeah. So it just depends.
Yeah.
And so you might see one group of people and you're like, why is my rate so high for this? We don't do anything. It's like, well, when something does happen, it's
Yeah.
bad.
And
Yeah.
there's a bunch of factors when you rate workers' comp. So one of them is that state rate, but then if you as an employer have had good experience in your company with low claims, then you get a credit. If you have bad experience, you might have to pay more. So there's lots of ways to go, to determine the rates. But right now in the industry, we call it a hard market or a soft market, and we're in a very hard market right now where rates are just like homeowners rates, auto rates are out the roof. Workers' comp is not. Workers' comp is
It's always steady. and
steady, and so.
Okay, do you
Yeah.
look at workers' comp insurance as kind of like an investment in your company? Because I mean, you're just one slip, one
Oh, yeah.
accident away from being out of business.
I think it is an investment, and it's an investment to take care of your employees. If you're taking these people on and they trust you to have a safe environment, and you want to take care of them too. So yeah.
No one ever wants your employees to get hurt, but it does happen. And
Right.
you want them back because if they're not working, you're not making money.
Right.
That's true.
So I guess it would be an investment because
Yeah.
you're investing in the health of your employees, as in, y'all are going to stay here forever.
Well, no, I mean, you look at your businesses. I mean, you got all kinds of different things that you have to do to make sure your business rolls, and liability is a big deal.
Yeah.
And so, I would say if you don't have workers' comp, or maybe you've got a small business and you're thinking, I don't really need it that bad, you might want to look into it.
You do need to look into it and just find out what it would cost, find out what it would cover. As the owner of the employee, you have the option to either cover yourself or not. You have to cover all your employees. If you buy workers' comp, everybody's covered, but doesn't, so even some owners can buy it. Some do, some don't.
Yeah, we sold a lot of owner workers' comp policies with consultants.
Yeah.
I mean, hundreds of those.
Yeah, because the people that they're working for make them have it, even if they don't have any employees.
But we slid them right on there.
It's
It's
like
like, yeah, there you go.
300, 400
It's
bucks.
$456.
Yeah. So,
Every day.
yeah.
Total worth it. Total
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
All right, folks, they get a hold of you guys, ask questions, or you got a business owner out there listening, or somebody that's maybe need to talk to your boss about it. How do they get a hold of you guys?
You can come see us on the second floor of Sierra Bank Building or call us at 940-549-2525.
If you're over in Parker County, we're in Hudson Oaks at 2950 Fort Worth Highway, Suite 500. You can call the Graham office and be transferred over there, or that number is 817-770-0096.
Or visit us online at brianins.com. That's Brian with a Y.
Get her done.